today's video is one that I'm extremely excited about. So first off, I just have to say a big thank you to the Peanut Board for sponsoring this video. I am so excited to be working with them and helping spread awareness about how to introduce peanuts and when to introduce peanuts to your little ones. There's so much that we don't know when we are first-time moms, and I feel like it's just like you're thrown into this new life that you're just like, oh my gosh, I feel like I'm not prepared for. I remember with Riley, I was constantly researching, constantly reading articles about when to introduce what next, what to do next with her, because I was the first one in my family to have a baby, so I had no one else to look at and learn from. So it was all just kind of just a whole new world for me. So I got really excited that I got to sit down with Dr. Jacobs and discuss everything about peanuts. Basically, when to introduce them, how to introduce them, and also what to look for in an allergic reaction, what to do. So I think this video is going to be extremely helpful for you guys. So for all the first-time moms that are kind of worried about introducing peanuts for the first time, I was right there with you. I hope this video eases your mind and has you excited for these new next steps in your little one's life. So now let's go ahead and get into the interview.
Hey, how are you today?
Hi, Dr. Jacobs. It's so nice to see you. I really wanted to come in and talk with you because, as you know, I have an older daughter, Riley, who's 2.5 years old. Well, I just had a new little girl who's only 3 months old. So in a couple months, we're going to be introducing peanuts. And I kind of wanted to go over some things with you about, did I introduce them properly the last time, or what are some new ways that I can introduce peanuts to my little Kinsley?
Oh, I love this topic. This is so timely. So I love it. And so I always, when I talk to patients about this in my community groups, I always ask the first question, do you have a regular pediatrician? Or a family doc? And if so, when was those last visits? And then were there any concerns by you or from the doctor when you went in at the last visit?
So for us, our last visit with Kinsley was just a month ago for her 2-month appointment. We go back in at 4 months, and then I think we go again at 6 months. I think it's like every 2 months and then the first year. Everything is looking great with her. Everything's awesome. With my first daughter, we have no known allergies. But I think what I am concerned about is now this time around, because I do have a family member that's a little bit younger, and he has a peanut allergy. It's a nephew. So I was wondering, is Kinsley going to be more prone, or my kid's going to be a higher risk of developing a peanut allergy if it is in the family?
So great question. So we talk about what those risk factors are. And so the fact that your husband or you or her sibling does not have a reaction or a severe food allergy, then she's more than likely to be at a very low risk, which is great. And and that's why when you come into the doctor's office, they'll ask you if Kinsley has any type of rashes or eczema or any breaks in the skin. That's one of the first questions, because that helps us stratify risk. What would you say with that?
That's so interesting. So if they have severe eczema, so they could be a little bit more at risk of developing an allergy. That is so interesting. Thankfully with Kinsley, she's got no eczema, no rashes or anything. Her skin has been just phenomenal. The girl didn't even have baby acne, which I was shocked. I know, like my first one did, and I'm like, my first one has a lot more sensitive skin, which I feel like she takes after me. And the second one, my husband, he doesn't have sensitive skin at all. So I'm like, my second one is a little mini copy of him. So it's funny. We both have our mini-me's. But yeah, so Kinsley, thankfully, so that's a good sign there, right? So basically, if someone has a baby that has severe eczema, is to kind of be a little bit more on alert of developing a peanut allergy.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's severe eczema and or an egg allergy. So those are the two biggies that you look for, and that makes baby at a higher risk for developing food allergies. So you want to make sure that information is shared with your pediatrician or with your family doc when you go into the office. So that lets us know what their risk factors are. Absolutely.
Okay. That's so interesting. Because then another question is, what are some ways that we can introduce peanuts to our little ones? Because I know with my first one, I did baby lead weaning. So I did the soft toast with a little bit of peanut butter on there, and she would kind of just hold it and like suck and like chew on it. And this time around, I'm kind of like, okay, what else could I do to introduce peanuts to her?
Oh, love that question as well. So about 4 to 6 months is when baby usually will let you know that they're ready for solid foods. They'll start grabbing at whatever it is that you're eating. So that's a good sign that they're
Yeah.
ready. And so it's wonderful that you can, if you have peanut butter or powdered peanut butter. And let me give you an interesting fact that I found out not long ago. Over 90% of U.S. Households have some form of peanut butter in the house.
It's so true.
So, right, so perfect, right? So you can use peanut butter, and you can take about a teaspoon of that peanut butter, put it either in breast milk, it could be in formula, it could be in yogurt, it could be in water, and you mix it up like a little puree, and then you can spoon feed that to baby.
Okay, perfect. That's what actually, like, I talked to my sister this morning, because I was like, how did you introduce peanut butter to one of my nephews? And she's told me, she goes, I did a little bit of water and we did like a puree. And I was like, that is so interesting. So I know, because I did it a different way. So I'm definitely going to try that this time around, and probably even just try to mix into a puree for her, and do probably a little bit of breast milk because we are breastfeeding. I do have a question though. So let's say, what are some signs that I should look out for if Kinsley does develop an allergy to peanuts? Like, what are some warning signs? Like, oh my goodness, you got to get her to the doctor right now.
Yeah, great question. And I always tell moms there are two approaches here and two ideas here. So there's something called allergic reactions, and then there's something called behavior reactions. So let's talk about the behavior reactions first. You put that spoon of that puree up to the mouth, and yip, 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 it looks like they're kind of spitting it out. So that's a behavior reaction. Maybe didn't like that taste right then and there, or they'll take it and through that food fight, they'll throw the food back at you. So behavior reaction means that maybe they're not quite ready for it yet, or maybe you want to mix it that puree and something else besides formula. Maybe you want to try the yogurt or even water, so it'll taste a little bit better for them. Now, allergic reactions, though, usually happens within minutes after the baby has eaten whatever it is that they've eaten, and they could throw up. That's the most common sign, that they'll throw it right back up. Also, hives or rashes would appear over baby's body. Face will become flushed or red or really pink, which could be signs that baby is having an allergic reaction. And then, yes, at that point, you want to make sure that you take baby on to the doctor just to see and let them know what baby has consumed or has eating, so that they can make sure that there's not an allergic reaction. And if it is, they will be able to treat it. And lastly, I'll just say that severe allergic reactions in babies that are extremely low risk are really rare, which is great to know, right?
That is.
Baby is low risk, like Kinsley
Yeah.
is. Feel free to slowly introduce that peanut butter right into her diet.
That makes me feel so much better, because I remember introducing it to Riley in the beginning. I was so nervous. I was like, okay, let me like hover over this girl to see if there's anything happening here. But that makes me feel a lot better. So just to kind of like recap on everything, basically start introducing peanuts around 4 to 6 months at the sign of readiness. Basically, if they're holding themselves up, if they're showing interest in food, and then kind of introduce it with like purees, mix it with breast milk, or about is it a tablespoon or a teaspoon?
A teaspoon, you can put, yeah.
A teaspoon of breast milk or formula or water into there, or you can mix it into their food and introduce it that way, and then kind of look at the signs of allergic reactions such as vomiting and stuff, and then that's when you know to take them to the hospital. So
absolutely, it sounds like you got it right.
Yeah.
So you can pass that on to your followers, and I think that you're ready to teach that class. You just want to make sure that puree is nice and thin. You don't want it to be too thick.
Yeah,
so,
not too like sticky or anything.
Yeah, right around in there. Make sure it's nice and thin so you can feed it to baby, and baby will be able to swallow it without choking or anything like that. So
perfect. That is so helpful. Thank you so much for meeting with me and helping like kind of spread awareness, and also about just introducing peanuts at a younger age to kind of risk not developing an allergy to it. So this is really, really helpful, because I know for me, being a new mom the first time around, like I wasn't really told all this, so I had no idea. So this is going to be great. Thank you.
Oh, you're so welcome. I think you're ahead of the game. You're reading and you're asking all the appropriate questions. So I think that you're well ready. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks. Okay, so that is the end of the interview, you guys. I had such a great time sitting down and talking with Dr. Jacobs about everything peanuts, basically how to introduce them, when to introduce them, and what to look out for with an allergic reaction. I think this video is so helpful, and I really hope that it helps ease your mind as well. So another big thank you to the Peanut Board for sponsoring this video and working with me, and I will see you all in my next video.